Hello friends, my name is Murtaza Bhatti. I'm an accountant in Toronto. I work under the banner of Insta Accountant, as you know. This year I see a lot of clients have done UberEats, UberEats and Skip, Doordash, Instacart and other delivery services. As you know that I file a lot of tax returns for Uber and Lyft drivers and also for UberEats and delivery drivers. So I thought let's make a video only for drivers who are doing delivery services like UberEats and Skip. So the first thing is that you guys, the drivers who are doing UberEats and Skip and all of those delivery services, they are self-employed people. So so if we talk about your personal income tax returns, you are gonna file your income tax return as a self-employed, since you don't get any kind of T4 from these companies like UberEats or Skip. You are gonna get different on your earnings. You're gonna get different slips or different summaries from each of these. So for example, UberEats is gonna give you an annual tax summary, whereas Skip just gives you a kind of an information on your earnings. Instacart gives you a T4A. So every service or every company gives you kind of the same information, but in a different shape. So as I said that for you, it's gonna be a tax return for a self-employed. So you are a self-employed person, as you're not employed by these companies. So you're not gonna get any T4 from them. Don't expect any T4 from them. First point. The second point is that as now looking at the earnings and the deductions or the expenses information that you get from these companies, it depends on what information they are providing you. For example, UberEats, let's take UberEats because UberEats provides you the most information in their tax summary. So you have to, the first thing that you're gonna see over there is gonna be the gross fares or the gross amount of income that you made or during the year doing UberEats. So that's your earning from the activity, from like delivering food. The second thing that you're gonna see over there is tips. So tips is the amount that you get. You know what tips are, right? So your total earnings is actually, if you add the gross fare, and the tips. So that's the total amount of earnings that you have. The next thing that you get over in that tax summary, which is important, is the UberEats deduction or the fees that Uber charges. So for each order that you get and deliver, Uber is charging its commission, you can call it a commission, or its fees over that particular order. So they also provide that amount. That is a deduction for you. That is a very important tax deduction for you. So these are the main information that that are very important to us. And then they also give you the number of kilometers that you kind of rode on your car. Now it depends if you're using your car or you're using your bike or even if you're walking around in the downtown, right? So that's one thing. Now, as a self-employed, you have to fill in T2125 form or attach T2125 form with your personal income tax return. T2125 form, I have explained that form in detail, how to fill that in a separate video. You can see that in my videos on my channel. But that form particularly is there to calculate or provide details on your earnings and your expenses during the year to CRA, right? So the end product of that form is the net income, which is the taxable income, right? So for example, if you made $10,000 as gross income on Uber Eats, including your tips, and your deductions were, like, say, $2,000, and then all the expenses were $4,000. So your the net income is gonna be 10,000 minus 2,000 minus 4,000. So the net income, which is gonna be the taxable income, is gonna be $4,000. Now the next thing is that what kind of expenses can you deduct? So as I said, that you're self-employed people. So for you guys, there are few expenses that you don't want to miss out, right? So especially if let's say you're delivering food using your car. So what are the expenses for these kind of people? So the first thing is that you have to take care of all the expenses. For example, your any kind of supplies. So for example, you had to pay for that food, that bag that you carry around, carrying the food, keeping the food warm and safe. That bag, if you bought that, that's your supply. If you, especially during these years, if you're using any cleaning supplies or any kind of PPE equipment like mask or gloves or this and that, all of these are your business expenses. If you bought a phone, then obviously the phone expense, like the bill that you pay, your monthly bill that you pay. So you can deduct a portion, a part of that bill as your business expense. Then obviously, as I discussed, the Uber service fees, that is deductible. Then also, to some extent, if you are using your bank account for this service, you can deduct a part of your bank charges as well. If you're using your printer or something, or those kind of supplies for this kind of for this business, you can deduct a portion of those expenses as well. Now the main expenses, which is going to give you the main thing which is going to give you a lot of deductions, is your car. So for your car, you're going to deduct the gas expense, the insurance, the driver's insurance, the renewal sticker. You don't have to get the safety certificate, but if you do, then that as well. Then any maintenance that you paid for the car, any winter tires, wipers, this and that, all that is deductible. Especially one thing that you need to that you want to include is the parking. So for Uber Eats drivers, a lot of times you have to. Sometimes, I won't say a lot of times. I know it's not easy to park in the especially in the downtown and all that. But sometimes, if you have to buy parking and park your car and then go and deliver your order, that parking is definitely an allowable expense. So you want to deduct that, and you want to keep the receipts, the parking receipts with you. The other expense that you don't want to miss is if it's if your car is financed, if you own the car or you own the car, you have to deduct the depreciation expense, which is the CCA expense. So these are all the expenses that you want to take care of or account for when you're calculating your net income on the T2125 form. So once you're done with your T2125 form, it's gonna give you the net income, which is gonna go into your T1 general, which is your personal income tax return, and then that amount is taxable. So other than that, Uber Eats or Skip, let's talk about Skip. Skip just provides you the earnings and what do you call it, the tips. So they don't provide you the amount of deduction. So in that case, that's what you're gonna take and put it into your T215 form, which is the earnings, and the rest of the expenses are the same expenses that you would use for Uber Eats. Now, in case of Instacart, they give you a T4A. I'll explain to you how to put that income in. But for Uber Eats, Skip, Doordash, and other delivery services, this is mainly the information. All the expenses that I discussed, those expenses are allowable expenses. Sometimes some legal fees could become an allowable expense, but it depends. So this is all the information for now. If you have any question, you can leave your question in the comments and I'll be happy to answer or help. Take care, drive safe, bye.